Sometimes people find themselves in a moment where everything seems still. Yet there's always the gentle, constant moment of time. Imagine, if you will, a river. It's flowing, always moving, sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly, but it's always moving forward, never backwards. Even if you stood on the river bank for a long while, the current is continued without judgment, without rush, just flowing. And isn't it curious how the river, it doesn't stop for anyone. It simply continues, always there, always moving, inviting those who choose to step in. Maybe you've been standing by the riverbank for what seems like too long, feeling unsure about stepping in, wondering if the river still holds the same possibility that it once did. But here's the thing, the river hasn't changed. It's still there, with its endless flow, its ever-present invitation. Now imagine that river could whisper to you gently, as if it's always known you'd return. It speaks in a way that makes sense only when you're ready to hear it, softly telling you it's never too late. The moment you decide to step in, the river simply embraces you, and you realize you've always known how to swim. You see, too late is a belief, a subtle story that sometimes clouds the path forward. What if instead you could hear a different story? What if the moment when you thought it was too late was actually the perfect moment to step in? What if you're always meant to arrive here, to discover it's never too late to begin again? And in that discovery, you find you've all the tools that you need within you. Tools you may not even realize that you've been gathering all along, hidden in plain sight. And perhaps if you take a moment and really listen, you might notice the still, calm voice inside, telling you, time, it's never been your enemy. You may begin to sense that everything you've experienced, everything you've been through, has brought you to this point, not as a final destination, but as the perfect beginning. The voice inside might even be saying, what if this is just the start of a new chapter, one that's already unfolding as you take this breath, and then the next. And in the next moment, you might find yourself stepping forward with a sense of ease, knowing that the current of life has been waiting for you all along, ready to carry you exactly where you need to go. It's easy to forget that the mind has a unique way of protecting itself, holding on to the stories that once made sense. And sometimes those stories, they become beliefs. But those beliefs, they can change. Just like the seasons change, shifting from winter to spring, from cold to warmth. The path that you thought was too far, too difficult, it's suddenly closer than you ever imagined. You might even begin to notice, the more you let go of the old story, the more space there is for new possibilities. The world doesn't judge when you start a new journey, and neither does your inner self. You might start to see how the feeling of it being too late is nothing but a veil, one that can gently lift when you give yourself permission. Perhaps, just perhaps, you'll begin to realize that there is no too late. There's only the present moment, which is always ripe with possibilities. And if you take a moment to really reflect, you might discover, even in what you thought was the end, it was simply the beginning of something even more amazing. In fact, you might already be stepping into that new beginning right now, as you listen and you let these words drift in. What if it's never too late to start something extraordinary?